I actually just emailed Berlanti, the director, a
Mm.
few weeks ago, just saying, "Hey man, what's I haven't heard anything. What's going on?" And he just said, it's just a little back and forth right now with Warner Brothers. I think a lot of things are
Yeah.
up in the air, and we are living in such a rapidly changing time. So you may try and budget out a movie right now with certain COVID requirements that might change in a couple months. So for now, I think it's a little bit at a standstill. But I don't know. Hopefully, if enough people get noisy about it, it'll move it right along. So please, by all means, start tweeting.
Get loud.
Get loud, because I am dying to do that one. Dying to do that.
Oh, the funny thing is your role in the statement of dying to do it just gives me so much joy. So for both of you, what I love, besides the fact that you have such a great relationship, you are absolutely adorable together. And as being a person who has siblings, understanding the joy of loving a person to the fact that sometimes, you want to push them. Both of you, both mentally, physically, and in your work, but both of you at some point have used your platforms to support causes for social justice, and I love how you've made that choice, right? Like specifically, Chris, with your project A Starting Point, and Scott, you were so incredibly vocal during the Black Lives Matter the protests and just in support of the movement. Why is it so important for both of you? Because you make a conscious choice to use your platform in that way. Why is it so important for both of you to utilize your platforms for those reasons? And we'll actually start off with Scott.
Well, I mean, honestly, I myself am a member of a marginalized group, of a group that's been fighting for equal rights, the LGBTQIA plus community. We've been, fighting for rights as well. So when I see any other group, whether it be because of race or sexuality or gender or anything, it just being victimized or being marginalized, it makes me want to say something and stand up and fight, because I know how hard the fight is personally from my own experience, that I know that without allies and without support, it's even harder. And so it just, that's my driving force behind wanting to be vocal about it and use my platform for whatever reason that I have, for whatever I can.
Well said. I don't know if I can top that one. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of anti social media for a little while, but you see how with minimal effort, a few types on a keyboard, you can move the needle. You can shine a light. You can try and help in these small ways, and it just feels it's hard to rationalize why not. You know what I mean? It just feels you feel it feels wrong not to.
I love that, and it speaks volumes for a lot of folks who've made that decision to kind of utilize their following and their voice to be that voice, especially now when we can't always be out there like we want to be, as we continue to follow safety protocols. So
just nothing worse than when there is something that major happening, whether it's a protest or a movement or something huge in the world, and then you see people with millions of followers be like, "Hey guys, so my new moisturizer," real, and you're just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" It just doesn't.
The moisturizer.
Yeah, they're like, "My under eyes. Are you tired from marching?" You're like, "Jesus Christ!" So toned down.
Scott, so I would switch over. I gotta know, you're a younger sibling, which I love, because younger siblings, good, bad, ugly. I personally am pro younger sibling. Sorry, Chris. Older siblings have a little bit of an influence on us, though, and we've talked about this a little bit. What has been your biggest influences in your life and your career, and why theater, why acting? I've read the articles, but I love asking personally.
Well, the funny thing is being a younger sibling and him being an older sibling, we're actually also both of the other things. He's also a younger sibling and I'm also an older one, because we're sandwiched between two sisters. So we, for everything that I took as a younger sibling, I got to turn right around and be like, now I get to dish it out. But growing up, it's so funny having older siblings that you actually are friends with and you actually do love. And there was never a time that we were fighting and, hating on each other and locking the bathroom doors. We just always wanted to be together. So the influences didn't have to be like, oh, that's the one thing I like that they're doing. It was all the things I liked that they were doing. So if one of them was doing something, I wanted to do it. And I think when our older sister started doing children's theater at our local theater, I think at first my mother was just like, this is easy for the carpool, everybody do it. But it was just sort of like, I want to do it. And I remember the first time I saw her doing shows, it was exciting. And then seeing her and Chris do shows together, I was like, 8 or 9 years old and just wanting to be 10 when you could audition. And that first time getting in there and being able to be on stage with them was just like, this is the coolest experience. I am sharing a stage with my favorite people. So it's just like, whatever they were doing, I wanted to do.
I love it. And in my heart, I feel like Chris is going to eventually direct something with you in it and just makes me so very happy.
Oh, we have. There's a lot of old home videos from us growing up. So I hope they never surface. But, we've worked together from an early age. He was Gaston. I was LeFou. It was very exciting.
Oh, this is all I want to see now in my life.
I don't know if you can say specific, like what year was Beauty and the Beast?
All 4 kids were in it. Carly was too old.
Carly was too old to be doing it, but I was teetering.
But she had a built-in cast that she could just boss around and direct, and we put on those shows.
We did.
I mean, when you have a built-in cast, this is what you do. You just you create. All right, so Scott, much like Chris, you've had an extremely interesting career. Not the same, very much your own unique path. You've had a fun journey. You've got a plethora of credits, soap operas, Grace and Frankie, and you've had a recent role in a romantic comedy, Almost Love. If you could pick one, and please don't sue me, and if you can't, it's fine. Has there been a highlight in your career besides playing LeFou next to your brother?
It's hard to top that. It's really hard to top that. Honestly, the most recent movie, the romantic comedy Almost Love, was such a highlight for me just because it was actually, with all the credits that I have, it was actually my first time being number 1 on a cast list, which is sort of like, you see that and you're like, oh my God, I'm the lead. And then the next names you see on that list are like Kate Walsh and Augie Prue and Michelle Buteau and Colin Donnell. And you're just like, holy hell, like, how am I going to do this? So that was truly, truly an incredible experience. But also at the same time, my mother got to play my mother when I was on the soap opera, which was equal parts incredible and equal parts insane. It was the weirdest.
I feel like it would be terrifying, right? Because it's a soap opera. There's always drama. So how do you even...
Well, it was just great. I think their first take, they were like, action, and she was like, I forgot my line. Like, and she just like completely blanked, and it was so crazy. But definitely a highlight, for sure.
Oh, I love it. So I have to mention, because it was a lot of the fan questions. Fans really love your voice. Are there some musicals in your future?
Oh, you mean this fucking rasp? Oh my God, I swear.
Oh, you're fine. We'll bleep it. It's great.
Bleep it, please.
I swear at these all the time. It's okay.
That's so funny. I don't even know when I sing, but Chris and I, we sing all the time. Like, you're not gonna find us not listening to music in the car and harmonizing. And every other day we're sending each other songs. We're like, learn this harmony, because next time we're together, we're singing it. And so it's just like, we do karaoke on like a Friday night at his house. Like, could be just the two of us.
I'm sorry. What is our go-to karaoke song? Like, we can't let this. This is very important.
I don't know if we have a go-to karaoke song, do we?
Duet, but we've sung "Agony" from Into the Woods before. That was a good time, because we are, at heart, a musical theater family.
Yeah.
But yeah, my I don't know, my go-to songs, they switch depending on the mood. But I do love a little George Michael, Faith. It's a little fun.
That's a good choice. What about you, Chris? Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, mine are probably a little cheesier. I mean, I like, it's the things that are a little bit easier to sing. I got buddies out here that do a lot of karaoke to, and we harmonize. And things that are like a little more James Taylor-y, that are just a little bit easier and more gentle.
I enjoy this. I like it. I do hope there is a musical in both of your futures. I mean, short futures. All right. So last but not least, do you have any dream roles, Scott, before we get to fan questions? Is there like a dream role that you're just like, this is it?
I don't know. John Hinckley. I love murder stuff and assassination stories and everything. And Assassins is one of my favorite musicals. And just I see myself when I look at him because I think I kind of look like him. So I've always kind of had that in the back of my head, I guess. But that's such a weird dream role to have, I guess. I don't know. I
mean, the world is well versed on your love of crime thrillers and
I know, and now I look like a murderer.
I was gonna say you
terrible.
Look like a psycho.
I'm just suspect right now. I'm like, the face you see.
I'm neither gonna confirm nor deny that at all. All right, so fan questions. As I mentioned, we got 2,000 fan questions. Fans, I want to thank you all for your creativeness. Hopefully, I've already hit on a number of things you wanted to know. But we are going to start off, and if I murder any of your names, I'm real sorry. They're, So the first up, we've got Kylie Kiwi Crisp, which I can't tell if that's because of the fruit or where they're from. If you could switch roles with anyone in the Marvel Universe, who would it be and why? This clearly is for Chris, but Scott, I'm going to add you in this and say, if you could play anyone in the Marvel Universe, who would it be? So I'm going to give Chris a chance because he's got a lot of friends that he doesn't want to that he doesn't want to alienate. And I'm going to give Scott, if you could have a Marvel role, what would it be?
I'll say Downey, Iron Man. Paychecks would be nice, but just the role is so fun. The role is, he's the engine, he's the life. But I suppose that's kind of signing up for failure. I don't think there's anything anyone on this planet could do that would somehow improve upon what Downey's done. You know what I mean? I don't consider that a role that's going to be like a James Bond or a Superman or Batman that somehow other people get a bite at the apple. He's Iron Man, the end,